I couldn't stop crying at my 10th birthday party. Everyone at my 10th birthday party gathered in the living room of the house as I was getting ready to open presents. I was excited and could hardly sit still. One by one, I opened the presents, gushing about how I loved every single one. I got computer games and movies, as well as a Doctor Who blanket and some Star Wars Lego sets. Then I got to the last present. It felt like a thin book and was wrapped very gently. Aunt Jem smiled nervously at me. "That present is from me," she told me. I nodded and carefully unwrapped it. It turned out to be a manila folder. I opened the folder and pulled out the first piece of paper, which was an old birth certificate. I wasn't sure what I was looking at, and I glanced up at my aunt with a questioning look on my face. She smiled sadly at me. "I have some news for you," she said. I glanced at Mom and noticed how she was pale and looked seconds away from passing out. Dad was red in the face and stormed to my aunt, hissing angrily. "I thought we agreed to wait." Aunt Jem glared at him. "He deserves to know," she snapped. "He's old enough." "Old enough for what?" I asked in a small voice. I didn't like how my heart was racing in my chest, and my fingers were starting to shake with nerves. Aunt Jem smiled at me again. "I'm sorry I have to be the one to tell you this, but your parents aren't your real parents." I nearly choked on my spit as I stared at her. "What?" I whispered. Jem looked like she was about to cry. "I gave you to my sister for her to raise because I wasn't in the right place to raise a child," she continued. "I'm your biological mother." I didn't know how to respond to that. I was absolutely shocked, completely blindsided. This couldn't be happening. Not on my birthday. Tears entered my eyes and I sniffed, rubbing at my eyes with my fists. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked, glancing at my parents. "Why tell me now?" Jem sighed. "I'm ready now," she said after a moment of silence. "I'm ready to have a relationship with you." I pressed a hand to my chest as tears finally started falling down my cheeks. I was embarrassed to have these family issues hashed out in front of my friends. I shook my head slowly. "I don't know what I want," I muttered. Jem's eyes narrowed, obviously not expecting that answer. What did she want? For me to be jumping up and down with joy that she's finally ready to be part of my life as my mother, not my aunt. I felt sick to my stomach. "I'm in your life whether you want me to be or not," Jem said sharply. "I'm finally at a place where I can afford to have children." I stared at her and shook my head. "It's a little too late for that," I shot back. "My parents adopted me, didn't they?" Mom avoided eye contact with me, and Dad looked away when I glanced at him. Guilt was written all over their faces. "What?" I demanded. Mom sighed. "We never adopted you," she replied. "Jem wanted you back eventually." I blinked, glancing between the three of them. "How is that legal?" I asked. "So Jem has been my real parent this whole time?" I was getting angry as they just watched me carefully. Jem sighed. "I'm running out of patience," she said. "You'll be coming home with me after the party." I froze in shock before quickly shaking my head. "No way," I muttered. "You can't just rip me away from my home like that. You aren't my mother, no matter what any paper says." My lips curled into a sneer as I looked at her in disgust. Her face was red with anger. She marched toward me, grabbed my arm, and began dragging me toward the front door, while no one did a thing to stop her. My parents stood nearby with their eyes staring at the floor, and my friends were all in shock, watching this play out. I yelped in pain from her nails digging into my skin, and I tried to rip myself free, but her grip was too tight. She didn't give me a chance to say goodbye to anyone as my tears fell heavily. I sobbed as she shoved me into the backseat of her SUV. I didn't try escaping. According to the law, I still belonged to Jem. I was just staying with my parents for the past 10 years. I guess I couldn't keep calling them my parents now. I couldn't stop crying as we pulled away from the only home I ever knew. Jem was always the cool aunt, the only person in the family I trusted the most. But in that moment, as we drove away from my friends and family, I hated her.